I'm Commander Sebastian Gordine, and on behalf of the 117 men and women who work with me to help keep Madison safe, welcome to our new home. We are very glad you are here on this great day for the Metropolitan Police Department and all of Nashville's families and businesses. The Officer Paul Scurry Building, which we formally open and dedicate today, represents a renewed commitment on the part of Madison Precinct officers to continue to provide outstanding service 24 hours a day, every day of the year, and to form even stronger partnerships with the many neighborhoods and communities we serve. We in this precinct are humbled and grateful for the more than 80 neighborhood business groups who work with us on a continuing basis to ensure public safety. We look forward to growing that number even higher during 2014. But this building is much more than that. It also represents the commitment of our city to use cutting-edge technology and science to identify those responsible for criminal actions so that they can be taken off the streets and brought to justice. We would not be here today without the strong and visionary leadership of the two men seated at the front with me, Mayor Karl Dean and Chief Steve Anderson. Chief Anderson is a 39-year veteran of the Nashville Police Department whose confidence in the decisions of his senior leadership is a major factor in our police department's overall success. Please join me in welcoming Chief Steve Anderson.
Thank you, Commander Gordine. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this grand opening and dedication of the Officer Paul Scurry Building. This is now the Nashville Police Department's most state-of-the-art building. We are witnessing history here today. This building spans more than 82,000 square feet, and as you will see, it is very, very impressive. The lower level, where we now are, will serve as Madison's own police precinct. This will be the base of operations for the extremely dedicated men and women now assigned to the Madison Precinct, the patrol officers, the flex officers, the detectives, and the supervisors of those units. As you go in, I want you to take note of the community room. As the name implies, it belongs to the community. We want you to meet with us here. We want you to meet with each other here. Please make use of this facility. I want to take a moment and thank Commander Gordine and his staff for giving us such an incredible year. During the year 2013, the Madison Precinct's second year of operation, overall major crime in this area decreased by 15%. That amounts to 600 fewer victims of major crimes. And as is in the case throughout the city, we cannot alone do all the things necessary to provide protection to Nashville's families and Nashville's visitors. It is vital that we have the help and assistance of the public. I am extremely proud of this police department's close partnership with more than 600 neighborhood groups. And as you heard Commander Gordine say, over 80 of them here in the Madison Precinct. I particularly want to recognize Debbie Massey. Debbie, raise your hand. Stand up. I want to recognize Debbie and the Madison Chamber of Commerce for their incredible support of the men and women who work here at this precinct. 2 years ago this month, the roll call room over here in our temporary quarters was crowded with Chamber of Commerce members from the Madison area. They have been with us every step of the way, and they are with us this morning. You can see evidence of their support if you go down here on Myatt Drive near Rivergate. They have put up a billboard along with Lamar Advertising to mark this occasion and to show their appreciation for the men and women that work here at the Madison Precinct. The second floor of this building houses an operation that will mark a turning point in the way the Nashville Police Department is able to serve the public, a state-of-the-art crime laboratory. Our newly hired scientists will begin using the latest technology to identify the persons who commit criminal acts here in Nashville. Early identification of these criminals will allow our officers to take them off the street more quickly. We know that making an early arrest will help us prevent the crimes that they are apt to commit if left unapprehended. Also, thank you to the hundreds of citizens who took the opportunity to tour the lab last month prior to its mandatory lockdown and decontamination procedures. This is a measure necessary to ensure that all scientific tests can be conducted in a controlled environment. The scientists and experts who will be staffing the second floor of this facility are very excited to begin their work in the fields of DNA, firearms, ballistics, toxicology, drug identification, and fingerprint analysis. Our crime scene technicians, the men and women who collect evidence at crime scenes, are also excited about working closely with our lab personnel. These men and women have brought with them a wealth of experience. They are anxious to get started. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your dedication to the citizens of Nashville. Would everybody that works in the lab, the crime scene investigator, please stand up? Raise your hand, stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that watch TV, CSI has nothing on us. For the next several months, the staff in our lab will begin going through the rigorous requirements of the accreditation process. Once accreditation is received, we can begin the scientific analysis on active criminal cases. Later this year, you will begin to see the full benefit of this marvelous building and the work being done here. Of course, until we finish the accreditation process, the laboratory testing of Nashville's evidence will continue to be conducted by the TBI Crime Laboratory. The TBI has been a true partner and has offered us considerable assistance in the creation of our laboratory. The scientists of the TBI do outstanding work, and I thank them for all they have done to help us get this lab started and their continuing efforts to make us an accredited lab. Special thanks to Mark Gwynn, the director of the TBI, and all of his staff for making that possible. As you have already heard, this structure, by action of the Metro Council and Mayor Karl Dean, will forever be known as the Officer Paul Scurry Building. It was my honor and privilege to personally know and work with Paul Scurry. Paul and I joined the police department on January 1st, 1975, 39 years ago. Chief Casey hired us. Chief, where are you? Many things this police department is today is because of Chief Casey. Thank you for being here. Paul and I went through the academy together. We were classmates and friends. In fact, Paul was a friend to everybody you met. He was just that type of person. Lieutenant Charlie Spain's here somewhere. Charlie probably knew him better than anybody. Where are you, Charlie? Thank you for being here today, and thank you for the donation of the picture. Paul loved this city, and he dedicated himself to each day to the safety of the families and business here in East Nashville and the Madison area. Paul worked these areas for most of his 21 years. Judge White told me earlier, Judge, where are you? Judge White told me earlier about Paul being a student in his class and his interaction with him. A good man, Judge. Thank you for sharing that. On the morning of May 17th, 1996, Paul was fatally wounded in the line of duty while attempting to arrest a fugitive inside an apartment on Cheyenne Boulevard. Nashville lost a good officer that day. Nashville lost a good man that day. When we were in the academy, Major Tom Dozier was our training officer and firearms instructor. I know that he would have wanted to be here today. Standing in for him is his son, Judge Steve Dozier. Raise your hand, Judge. Thank you for being here for your dad. Paul's daughter, Melanie, is with us today. I'd like for Melanie to join Mayor Dean and myself as we unveil a photograph of the bronze plaque honoring Paul that will be seen by all who enter this building's front door from this day forward. Mayor, Melanie. We would not be standing here today on the plaza of this magnificent building without Mayor Karl Dean's commitment to public safety, his commitment to a fully staffed police department, and his commitment to providing the facilities and equipment necessary to operate a successful police department. I truly believe that as the history of Nashville is written, there will be a special chapter that details how Nashville become a safer and stronger place thanks to Mayor Karl Dean and the members of the Metro Council. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Karl Dean.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you to the Scurry family for being with us today. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce the elected officials who are here with us. We are honored to have council members Bill Pridemore, Doug Pardue, Karen Bennett, Walter Hunt, and Phil Claiborne with us. Also, distinguished former council members who love this area of the county. Jim Forkham and Rip Ryman, thank you for being with us. We have Judge Randall Wyatt, Judge Steve Dozier, Judge Diane Turner, Judge Gail Robinson. We're also joined, as the Chief noted, by former Chief Joe Casey. The District Attorney, Tori Johnson, is with us, along with Public Defender Dawn Diener. Representative Brenda Gilmore is here, as is Sheriff Darren Hall. This is a big moment for our city to open a facility like this, and I think the attendance reflects that. You know, I have been looking forward to this day for over 3 years, since we first decided to undertake a capital spending plan that would allow us to add a police precinct here in Madison. The Chief made reference to the Chamber of Commerce here, and I didn't make a whole lot of promises when I ran for mayor other than that things were connected, and I'd try to work on those things that were connected, like education, public safety, and economic development. But one thing I did mention to the council, to the chamber in Madison, was that we needed a precinct here. And I was thrilled to be able to start work on this. In 2010, when I thought we were going to begin working on this and include it in the capital spending program, I gave my State of Metro address on April 29th, 2010. And I delivered that State of Metro address at the Riverfront Park. It was a beautiful day, it was sunny. And I talked about our intentions to file a capital spending plan with the council shortly after we filed the operating budget later that day. But 2 days later, it started to rain. And as you know, it didn't stop raining for about 36 hours. The historic flood that followed consumed our government operations for some time. We put our plans for a capital spending plan on hold. That summer, MTA, because of flood damage, began looking for another site for its administrative offices and heavy maintenance operations because of the damage that occurred at the Nestor Street location. And the MTA came across this 66-acre former Peterbilt plant and asked if we'd like to partner with them to acquire it. And with the acquisition of this property, we saw an incredible opportunity to accomplish several goals. First, the opportunity to build a much-needed Madison Police Precinct. At the time, we had recently expanded the ranks of our police department through the use of federal stimulus grants. We had the largest police force in our city's history and therefore the capacity to man another precinct location. Adding another precinct allows us to withdraw the boundaries of other precincts, giving our police officers more time to work with neighborhood leaders in a smaller geographic area. In this case, the addition of the Madison Precinct allowed us to reduce the coverage area of the North Precinct from 189 square miles to 120 square miles. From what Chief Anderson described, this focused attention has clearly helped reduce crime in this area since the precinct started operating out of temporary headquarters 2 years ago. Second, the acquisition of this property gave us the opportunity to locate our plans for the DNA crime lab to relocate from West Nashville, a site that was also flooded, to a facility that couldn't be threatened by an overflowing creek and that would reduce the risk of damage. Putting the crime lab at Peterbilt instead also provided more workspace. It allowed us to better protect the Richland Creek watershed in West Nashville by reducing the required number of parking spaces at the new precinct there. And it allowed for the crime lab to be closer to the police department's evidence storage facility and the TBI lab. We truly cannot overestimate the value of the crime lab that it will have for our police department's ability to solve crimes and get criminals off our streets faster before they can victimize others. I am incredibly proud of our police department's historic reduction of the homicide rate in 2013. If you missed the news, we had the lowest number of homicides last year than we have experienced in the 50-year history of the metropolitan government. Chief, that is an incredible accomplishment. You should be proud, and all the men and women who work for the police department should be proud. Chief Anderson has said it best, even one homicide is too many. I know we will be able to do even better in solving crimes and preventing crimes with the help of our new DNA crime lab. And the third opportunity that came from the acquisition of this property was the opportunity to redevelop an industrial site that is situated near a residential neighborhood. Rather than sitting vacant, it now serves a purpose that benefits this entire community. I'm glad, as I've said, to see members of the Madison Chamber of Commerce here today. For 2 years now, you have experienced the benefit as business owners and other area residents of having your own police precinct. But now, with the opening of this beautiful facility, you'll have the benefit of enjoying this space as well. This plaza and the community room, which we'll see when we go inside, are both great places to host events. I want to thank all involved in the construction of this precinct and the lab. Now I'd like to invite Chief Anderson, Melanie Scurry West, and members of the Metro Council to join me for the formal cutting of the ribbon at the front door. Thank you. One, two, three. All right.